Here are 6 of the nastiest foods from around the world. This topic was requested by Lista Del Mundo. So here you go, Lista. I hope you have an empty stomach. Number 6. This first one is pretty nauseating, friends, so grab your barf bag and buckle up. Greenland isn't known for much, except for it has some ice or something. But it turns out they created one of the nastiest, most foul, stomach-turning meals on the planet. It's called Kiviaq, and it takes about 3 months to prepare. First, you take about 500 dead birds, but not like nice roasted chicken. We're talking whole feathered birds, and stuff them into seal skin. Then you sew up the skin, doing your best to remove as much air as possible. After that, you rub the skin with seal fat, which repels flies from the fledgling meal. Now I want to do a quick digression because the word fledgling has 2 definitions. It means both to be undeveloped, but it also means a bird that just got its feathers. So that is a double pun, people. I wanted everyone to know that that was intentional and how hilarious I am. All right, back to the thing. So they rub it with seal fat to repel flies, because of course you don't want flies on your seal carcass. That's just nasty. Now here's the kicker. They don't actually cook it. The birds ferment in the skin and the meal is ready to serve in about 12 weeks. In terms of practicality, it actually does make sense because you can make this in the fall and then eat it in the Arctic winter when food sources are scarce. But still, ugh. The taste of Kiviaq is said to be similar to a strong Gorgonzola cheese, so definitely never eating Gorgonzola again. Traditionally, it's served during special occasions in Greenland, such as birthdays or weddings. So if you're ever perusing Tinder and see a person from Greenland, swipe left. Number 5. Typically, when you think of caviar, you picture old white guys with cigars and monikers eating at a fancy restaurant and discussing the best way to dump their factory's waste in the town river, right? But there's a whole new twist on caviar coming from south of the border. To the pasty gringos, it's called Mexican caviar, or the caviar of the desert. But in Mexico, it's simply called escamole. I'm crazy pale, so for the rest of the video, it'll be Mexican caviar. Now, traditionally, the term caviar refers to a spread or garnish made of sturgeon eggs from the Caspian or the Black Sea. Sturgeon can take years to develop their eggs, and then collecting those eggs is quite difficult. Typical greedy sturgeon. This is why the price of caviar tends to be exorbitant. Mexican caviar, on the other mano, eschews all fish eggs in favor of a more accessible ingredient. There are plenty of fish in the sea, but for inland Mexico, there is no sea, so they came up with a clever substitute: ant larva. The dish uses larvae exclusively from the ant known as Leometopum apiculatum, but locally the ant is known as the farty ant. I'm totally not making this up. They call it the farty ant, and then they eat its eggs. The ants get their colloquial name from the putrid aroma that emanates from their nest during the larva harvesting process. Just like traditional caviar, Mexican caviar is very expensive and has become an opulent treat for the affluent members of Mexico's upper class. That's totally fine. The rich can have all the ant larvae they want. I'll take the al pastor. Before we move on, be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell button to get notified of new videos, and we always appreciate a big thumbs up. Number 4. This next delicacy comes out of the Philippines, and it puts the no in Filipino. It's called balut, and it makes me want to bow puke. It feels like one day a guy in the Philippines thought to himself, I like eggs, I like chicken. Maybe I should try the in-between. And balut was born. Technically, born may be a misnomer because balut is an 18-day-old developing bird embryo. Producers of balut incubate the eggs by placing them in the sun or burying them in the sand. They allow the embryo to partially develop before smashing their eggs and devouring the incipient poultry. Over the years, the younger generation of Filipinos have become increasingly averse to balut. So, in an effort to build predilection for the snack, schools will teach students about the anatomy of birds using balut and then have them eat the compressed bird beak, veins, and developing wings within. I think I'll pass on the extra credit, thank you. In a stroke of actual irony, I looked it up and abortion is like super illegal in the Philippines, but yet they're incredibly pro-choice when it comes to delectable duck fetuses. Number 3, Thailand is famous for its elephants. There's statues of them everywhere. They have elephant sanctuaries up and down the country. Their most popular beer, CHIANG, has 2 elephants on the logo. And technically, you haven't been to Thailand until you post a picture with an elephant. Now, the Thais have taken their elephant worship to the next level with hot, piping elephant poop coffee. So if you like a nice earthy blend with undertones of doo-doo, then hop on the next flight to Chiang Mai. It's actually a bit messed up. The producers of elephant dung coffee force-feed elephants coffee beans and then wait for the pay dirt to squirt out the back end. Once the beans pass through the elephants, they're roasted and packaged. Because it's labor-intensive and hard to scale production, elephant excrement coffee is very expensive. People are throwing down big bucks to get their hands on the sweet nectar. Personally, I'm torn. Traditionally, I have an antipathy for fecal matter in my beverages, but it's still better than Starbucks. Number 2, the Yukon in Canada is a weird place. It's so far north that in the winter it only gets 4 hours of sunlight, and in the summer the day lasts for 19 hours. That type of sun deprivation followed by sun overdose can really wreak havoc on your mind. Nowhere is that more clear than Dawson City in the Yukon. Located in their downtown is a quaint little hotel creatively named Downtown Hotel. What the hotel is famous for isn't their low rates, central location, or their excellent amenities. No, what they are known for is their trademark famous cocktail that contains a human toe. You didn't read that wrong, and you heard me right. The bartenders at the hotel's restaurant serve a beverage called sour toe cocktail. Legend has it that the bar's tradition of putting human toes in their drinks started in the 1920s when a miner named Louis Lichen had his toe amputated due to frostbite. Lichen preserved the appendage in a jar of alcohol in his cabin for memories. Hey, toe, remember when I stubbed you on the coffee table? Haha, good times. Louis Lichen perished, but the lonely toe was preserved in alcohol for 50 long years until a local resident was cleaning out the cabin and he found it. So being the totally normal Yukon guy that he was, he brought the toe down to the local tavern and started dunking it in everyone's drinks, and presto, the sour toe cocktail was created. These days, the bar carries out the tradition of serving the revolting beverage, although the first toe was lost after 7 years when a local miner, Gary Younger, accidentally swallowed it. Talk about putting a foot in your mouth. Over the years, 7 more toes have been donated to the bar, which are dehydrated and preserved in salts. So if for some ridiculous reason you find yourself in the Yukon, you can stop and enjoy the cocktail for yourself. Just make sure to bring plenty of LOTRIMIN in case you get a bad case of athlete's foot on your lips. Number 1. The number 1 meal on our list comes straight out of Cambodia and would have Peter Parker horrified and likely in tears. That dude is always getting so emotional. Uncle Ben is dead. I have all this power and responsibility. It's like, grow up, buddy. You're 17. Act like it. In the street markets and restaurants around Cambodia, you can find the popular local snack of fried tarantulas. Chefs will fry them up with oil and flavor them with a little garlic, MSG, and just a pinch of salt. They then cook the arachnids until the legs are stiff. Most people stick to eating the legs and head, which are said to have a nice crunchy exterior like a Ferrero Rocher chocolate and a bland inside like chicken. The more adventurous or disgusting eaters, depending on how you view it, will also consume the body, which is filled with a brown paste consisting of organs and excrement. No one is positive how the practice of frying tarantulas started, but some have posited that the Cambodians may have started eating them due to desperation during the years of the Khmer Rouge rule when food supply was scarce. Today, with tourism booming in Southeast Asia, all of the region's countries are competing to draw visitors into their borders. One way to do that is to serve the best food around, and the ultimate goal is to get a leg up on the competition. Well, Cambodia has 8. Board badger!
This, coupled with the fact that they can still give you diseases and probably rip your face off while it's at it, means that the crazy weasel creature you see pictured here makes it in our don't touch that animal list.